So we're not going to tell his wife that he's checking it out. Or hope that she sees these videos. More snow. Because that's what we need, is more snow. Ran into a group of about 5 or 6 hikers earlier, working on their Duke of Edinburgh award. We'll have to look into what that is. From Laurier. Was it Laurier University?
They were Laurier
from
College,
Burlington.
he said. But they're doing it for, it's a Scouts badge.
So there's a couple guides of sorts and a few students, so had a little bit of a chat. And they are actually going to overnight at a scout camp tonight. So they had quite large packs on. Oh, there's a nice scene. Kind of hard to see through this falling snow and whatnot. So we'll be making a right turn, but just to capture this. Intersection of trails. And more people on the trail.
The ledge.
And I'm still recording, apparently.
It's always a good thing.
Yeah. Let's see how close we can get to the edge without freaking out here. Looks like a decent spot.
Oh, phew.
Too bad the skies weren't a little clearer, but oh well. There's more examples of crevices on the Bruce Trail. As soon as I manage my way down this little incline. Very, very cool. You can see all the way through. Zoom in. There you go. Bench. And it's gonna be tough to see, but you can actually see the bottom of the crevice there. You got some rocks across. If it wasn't covered in snow, I'd go across there, but rather not risk it. So very, very cool. And so we were only a little ways away from the bench, and without ruining the shot, discovered that that chasm slash crevice runs quite the length. So you can see it run almost like a whole section of rock is calving away from the main part of the mountain. Slowly but surely. Just don't call me Shirley. Markers. Rob checking out another crevice. And he says that it goes all the way down. So we're not going to tell his wife that he's checking it out. Or hope that she sees these videos. Hi, Kathryn. See the post? Nice. For those of you that are playing the home game, I had posted to Facebook a photo of Rob on the somewhat edge of a crevice and tagged his wife to say, No, really, we're being safe. And apparently a contact or a friend of Rob's basically responded to said post with a GIF of his own that says, "And that is a lie." So, but really, we're being safe, mostly. Anyways, capture a little bit more of the trail here. Just a little bit of an incline. Unfortunately, my All Trails recording had paused. So I think we're roughly 7.5 kilometers into our hike today. So at some point, we should be coming up to a trail closure and the need to divert onto a side trail and head back to Rob's vehicle. But we'll continue to enjoy the trail while we can. Oh, looks like some kind of a lookout. Let's take a look, shall we? So not a lot to see really, just with things being overcast and kind of flat. See mostly farmland and some fairly large houses. That's where we are. Can't really read that sign. See if I can dust it off a little bit. Sort of, kinda. Pause to read. So after a wee bit of a break, I'm going to take in a sign. Rock climbing, trail etiquette for those who are not aware. And nothing on that side. Okay. Medium. So what was the consensus? Continue on?
Yeah, we can go explore this way and see what we find. But yeah, this next section of trail, we should run into a closure.
Closure! But onwards. All right, folks. So we are early afternoon, and we didn't get all the way to, I don't want to say the end per se, but we didn't get to the point of the main part of the Bruce Trail where it's sectioned off for various reasons. We got to a point where it started to dip down, and then we realized, of course, that we had to come back to pick up the side trail to go back to the car. So we kind of stopped there. We took some additional shots and took in some views, but we are now at the side trail for parking area off of Guelph line. and we will be continuing on through here. And all in all, it was a good day. We'll tally up the distance and elevation gain. But for those of you who are curious, according to a quick Google search by Rob, Mount Nemo has an elevation of 85 meters. So not mountainous by any stretch of the imagination, but not insignificant of a drop for sure. So anyhow, I think we are at the end. No, maybe not. Okay, so we will check in at the end of our hike here, and that's it. Bye. So we backtracked to where we had snacks earlier today, and where the lookout was basically, and then turned inward into the park. And as you can tell, we already traversed quite a bit, and still see some nice view of the forest and whatnot, but we are on a steady descent from the mountain edge and crevice, escarpment. But we have quite the walk ahead of us yet. But just enjoying the nice and easy going on nicely packed snow. Ran into a few more people. I see the road ahead.
Oh, I hear it. See now, yeah. I hear it for sure. I think it's not
And I think what threw us off was that when we exit the park, the trail actually keeps going like almost like straight through.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because the trail basically heads straight down that road.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
So one of us will park at Crawford. One of us will park here.
Yep.
And then walk.
Love it.
Or maybe, yeah, I think we'll do that. I think I say about bringing Kathryn and the kids out too. But I gotta just see how that works for timing. So
You can do that. Oh yeah, there's the cutoff for the main trail.
yeah. Cool.
All closed for tree maintenance. Signpost. All right, folks. So I think at this point, safe to call it there. I think we're in the vicinity of about 10.5 kilometers, give or take. Have to double check once the All Trails app refreshes and checks in with the mothership and whatnot. And this is Mike and Rob.
Bye.
Signing off for now. And of course, reminding you to hit that like, subscribe, and bell buttons. And as soon as this guy gets his channel going, we'll let you know what that is. And as always, folks, hope to see you out on the trail. Till then, take care of yourselves.